lane. Castabian to get into melee range. Never had to burn his Q to gap close without the reset being available, so really liked it a lot.
Perfect stuff. And now we are going to be moving on to Caps versus Closer, who did take down Sneaky yesterday. And who did Caps play? I'm trying to think. Caps played against, I want to say, Chippies.
Probably.
It was the Heimerdinger versus Poppy.
Oh, yeah, that was not a close
I think
matchup.
it was Chippies.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
That was the only turret play victory we saw, the turret kill victory, right? We saw that Heimerdinger come down, and he was able to actually just knock down the turret. This is going to be Darius versus Renekton. A lot of Darius has been coming through. We've seen a handful of games of Renekton. Double rejuve beat. That is something that I have seen from some of the kind of really big Darius players, even on Summoner's Rift. BMD, who is actually at Scouting Grounds recently. That's a build I've seen him do a lot. Triple rejuve beat start, even on SR. And Caps going to be coming out in this matchup. And again, so much of it is in the all-in about can you hit the outside of the queue. I know I've talked about that a lot with Darius, but really it is the most important thing, being able to actually make sure you hit the outside edge so you get the stack, you get the additional damage.
Q missed though, which means it's time for Renekton to go in, gets the Conqueror stacked up all the way, big damage here. Takes the big Q. Now there's a good passive bleed here. Ignite's gonna come in, but this should be enough actually for Renekton, but that Q is big! Oh my word, Caps with way too much damage.
Yeah, Caps played that well. Closer had a good initial trade. As soon as the Q got used, he goes in for it, but you're allowing Darius to get a 5-stack. And then when Caps gets that 5-stack, has the barrier still available, he hits the outside edge of the Q, heals back up. It's an incredible amount of damage. And Darius gets so much AD and also the true damage dot when you are at that 5-stack. So it's really hard to beat Darius in a fight where he gets the 5 stacks. Closer just needed to take the initial trade and save likely the dice to get out. You can slice in on top of him, use your stun, auto Q, and then dice back out. But if you stay on top of him for kind of a 100-0 fight, despite the fact the first Q missed, you're probably not going to win.
Yeah, and so Caps gets a very early lead, full Kindle Gem bot now as well. Sure, the CS could be answered, but obviously better items in the inventory, so Caps can take any fight. Knows that if he burns Apprehend early, you just kind of slice the dice back away. It doesn't get all that much done, but they trade their auto resets, and it's Closer having to run away.
That's gonna be tough for Closer, right? You know, you don't actually have your summoners up right now, and in that extended fight, Darius likely will win. So being down on summoners means Caps can bully pretty heavily here. You just kind of have to keep looking for these trades where you go in, get as much damage as you can, and kind of dash out, hopefully before Caps can actually return fire when he comes out of your stun.
The one thing that's nice is you do have the PvE sustain on Renekton. Empowered Q is quite a lot of health against minions. Obviously a lot more against champions, but that's just kind of what it is.
6.
Yep. And that means you have to respect that up until this comes through. Now, in general, the amount of damage dealt by Darius ult is higher than the amount of health gained by Renekton ult. So you have to basically say, okay, well, in terms of health versus health, that's better. Then the burn and the Fury generation, you hope can make up the difference, and it's not always going to do that.
So I think Shojin is available on this map, and I had heard some players talking about building it on this map. So if Shojin is in there, it would be interesting to see if Closer wants to go towards that, because that can really help you a lot in the all-ins, getting potential stun resets.
Yeah.
Not sure if he's going to elect to go towards it, and he hasn't been getting too much CS. He's kind of just getting zoned off the wave now. And Caps is looking like he's sitting in a pretty dominating position because, you know, if Renekton is quite a bit behind, you're not going to have a lot of a chance to actually burst down the Darius, and I think Caps can afford to go a fairly defensive build to just survive till you get that 5-stack and make sure you're getting that true damage done.
Piece of damage in, and again, it's Q into jump away and not get hit by the Darius axe. It's very one-sided here, 30-15 in the CS mark right now. And there isn't a way in for Closer yet.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing Caps, you go for the Apprehend, you get an auto, you use the W reset, he's slowed, and then you use that slow to try to make sure you're hitting the outside of your Q, right? And that is the kind of combo you're trying to look for. You're trying to get the quick stacks by just using that auto reset and making sure you're hitting the outside of the Q to kind of quickly get up towards where you can dunk him. But this is pretty one-sided. You got the first kill, and now, you know, sitting at 40 CS to the 16. Closer should be able to pick up a lot of this farm under turret, but you always do have to be a little bit worried about a potential Apprehend, and Caps can get a turret plater here.
Yep, one plate could go for a second. There we go, 240 gold earned. And not to mention the 30 CS difference. Oh, that's a big one. Get that damage, ult and barrier come down. Caps can't quite follow through. I don't think the chase down's going to be there for the Renekton, so Caps gets to force the recall. Most of that CS is not answered. It's going to be close to 50 CS to 23.
Yeah, Caps goes for the early dunk there, thinking he might have had enough damage, but the ultimate from Closer plus the barrier does help him survive through the ignite as well as that bleed. And the pre-fully stacked dunk really doesn't do that much damage.
No.
It's so much less. So he was able to survive, but that's a close one, and it is now full Black Cleaver to just pieces here from Closer. He is so far behind.
Yeah, it's
Caps,
really rough.
Caps feeling like he's just in full control off of kind of that misplay at the start from Closer.
It's a 2,000 gold lead. Like, you start with
insane.
1,350,
Yeah.
so he's earned 3K to earning 1,500. He's actually doubled the income of the guy.
Yeah, that's tough. Maybe you can catch up a little bit, picking up some of these cannons, but
Sure. Again, big damage coming across, and it's just very easy. Gets the hit. There's the pullback in. This could be enough damage. Oh, he doesn't have dunk, but the bleed. That's going to be enough with the Q. There's the kill. Caps taking names.
yeah, Caps just destroyed that 1v1 that is 2 back-to-back dominant performances from him, playing this out very, very well, punishing so heavily on a mistake from Closer. You could tell,